Welcome, welcome, welcome. Waiting for the family to come in. Got a good one coming up, family. Um, Wait for some people to come in. But it's a good one coming up. Let me go get this out. Welcome to the Darkness Awakens. Welcome back, family. This is JT. Again, welcome to JT Night Snack and History Conversation Part 2. Got a good one going. Let me get this announced out the way again. JT better than ever. Welcome to my channel, The Darkness Awakens. Let's get them likes and them views up of my live stream and videos. Very much appreciated on my channel. Hit the bell when I come with the powerful live stream or video. All right, family. Let me get this out the way. And when I got a good one, squared off. Facebook, Jerry Thomas on my page. Facebook, Jerry Thomas. Also, I have a Facebook group, all in caps. JT MVP, Thinking for Ourselves. Twitter account, all in caps, at JT Blackman44. And lastly, my Instagram account, lower caps, JT Black Star. Now let me go check the chat. See if people come in yet. But this person made history. Sure did. This person really make history. Did a lot. This person's a trendsetter. He broke down many barriers. He really did. He really, really did. And when I first read about him when I was a teenager, preteen, I was so amazed at that time. He was never mentioned. Matter of fact, he was a part of the movie Red Tails. The one and only, the late great Benjamin Oliver Davis Jr. An American United States Air Force general and commander of World War II, Tuskegee Airmen. He was one of the original ones. Wait for some more people to come in. But he was ahead of his time. He had groomed a whole lot of men. So we're just trying to wait around, family, see some more people coming in and everything, so we can get this going. But I'm glad y'all check out She Stay Sleep TV. He finished up with his Black African History Month series. Is very, very good, very, very telling. I want you to check the series out to 1 to 10. Also, I'll put my twists on it. You can check those out too. I'm gonna check the chat. See anybody coming through. And so yeah, so did a lot. Well, let's go and start it off. They come in. Benjamin Oliver Davis Jr., born December 18th, 1912, passed away July 4th, 2002. Excuse me, like I said, was an American United States Air Force general and commander of the World War II Tuskegee Airmen. He passed away in Washington, D.C., age 89. Washington, D.C., place of burial, Arlington National Cemetery, Allegiance, United States, Service Branch, United States Army, United States Air Force, years of service, 1936 through 1970, ranked general. He was a four-star general. Commanders held 99th Pursuit Squadron, 332nd Fighting Group, Tuskegee Airmen, 51st Fight Wing, 13th Air Force. They have not lost a enemy bomb. Battle wars: World War II, Korean War, Vietnam War. Awards: Air Force Distinguished Service Medal, Army Distinguished Service Medal, Silver Star Legion, American Distinguished Flying Cross, Air Medal, Air Comedy Medal, Langley Golden Medal. Other words: Federal Skies Marshal Program, Assistant Secretary of Transportation. Okay, here we go. He was the first African American general officer in the United States Air Force. On December 9th, 1998, he was advanced to four-star general by President Bill Clinton during the World War II. Davis was commander of the 99th Fight Squadron and the 332nd Fighting Group, which escorted bombers on air combat mission over Europe. Davis flew 60 missions in P-39s, Curliss, P-40, P-47, and P-51 Mustang fighters. Davis followed in his father's footsteps in breaking racial barriers, as Bisbal O. Davis Sr. was the first African general in the United States Army. Wow. Makes history, family. Benjamin Davis Jr. was born in Washington, D.C. on December 18th, 1912, second of three children, born Benjamin O. Davis Sr. and then Lord Dickinson Davis. His father was a U.S. Army officer at the time. He was stationed in Wyoming, serving as a lieutenant with an all-white cavalry unit. Benjamin O. Davis Sr. served 41 years before he was promoted to Brigadier General in October 1940. And Lord Davis died from complications after giving birth for their third child, Nora, in 1916. At the age 13, in the summer of 1926, the younger Davis went for a flight for a barnstorming pilot at Boiler Field in Washington, D.C. The experience led his determination to become a pilot. A pilot himself. After attending the University of Chicago, he entered the United States Military Academy at West Point, New York in 1932. He was sponsored by Representative Oscar D. Priest. He was, I don't know, he was Republican of Chicago, Democrat. Don't quote me on that. At the time, the only black member. Oh, he was the only black member of Congress. Wow. During the 4 years of his academy term, Davis was racially isolated by his white classmates, few of whom spoke to him outside a line of duty. He never had a roommate. He ate by himself. His classmates hoped that this would drive him out the academy. The silent treatment had the, this is crazy. The silent treatment has the opposite effect. It made Davis more determined to graduate. Nevertheless, he earned the respect of his classmates, as evidenced by his biographical note beneath his picture in the 1936 yearbook, The Holliser. The courage, tenacity, and intelligence which he had conquered the problem incomparable, more difficult than plea years, won for him the sincere admiration admiring of his classmates, and his single-minded determination to continue his chosen career cannot fail to inspire respect, whereas fortune may lead him. He graduated in 1936 in a class of 276. He was an Academy fourth place black graduate after Henry Ursine Flipper, 1877, John Hanks Alexander, 1887, and Charles Young, 1889. When he was commissioned as a second lieutenant, the Army had only two black officers, Benjamin O. Davis Sr. and his son, the one and only Benjamin O. Davis Jr. After graduating, he married Agatha Scott. At the start of his junior year at West Point, Davis applied for the Army Air Corps, but was rejected because it did not accept blacks. But instead, he assigned to all black 24 Infantry regime, one of the original Buffalo Soldier regimes, at Fort Benning, Georgia. He was not allowed inside the base officer club. Later, he attended the U.S. Army Infantry School for Fort Benning. Then he was assigned to teach military tactics at Tuskegee Institute, a historical black college in Tuskegee, Alabama. This was something his father had done years before, by the way, the Army to avoid a black officer in command white soldier. Early in 1941, the Roosevelt administration, responding to public pressure to greater blacks' participation in the military as war approached, ordered the War Department to create a black flying unit. Captain Davis was assigned to the first training at the Tuskegee Army Airfield, hence the name Tuskegee Airmen, parentheses. And in March 1942, earning his wings, one of 5 black officers to complete the course. He was the first black officer to solo an Army Corps aircraft. They showed the document. In July that year, has been promoted to Lieutenant Colonel. He was named commander of the first all-black unit, the 99th Pursuit Squadron. The squadron equipped of Courier's P-40 fighters was sent to Tunis in North Africa in the spring of 1943. On June 2nd, they saw the combat for the first time in dive bombing mission against German-held island of Patera as part of Operation Corkscrew. The squad later supported the Allied invasion of Sicily. In 1943, Davis was deployed to the United States to take command of the 332nd Fighting Group, a larger all-black unit preparing to go overseas. Soon after his arrival, there was an attempt to stop the use of black pilots in combat. Senior officers in the Army Air Force recommended that the Army Chief of Staff, General George Marshall, then the 99th Davis O Unit, be removed from combat operations as it performed poorly. This infuriated Davis, as he'd never been told of any deficiencies with the unit. He had held a news conference at the Pentagon to defend his man, the president, his case of the world, and as a War Department committee studied the use of black servicemen. This goes to show they try to do whatever they can to to get us out of there. But the men that back then they want to fight, even though they was second class citizens. That's what they want to do. They want to fight, and that's heroic. That you have to fight to come. That you know when you come back, you're not getting respect, but you still want to fight, and that's commendable. It goes to show that resilience and just do you have to do. Senior officers in the Army Air Force directed the Army Chief Staff General George Marshall that the 99th Davis unit okay removed from combat point. Who David told the official unit had to move combat. Case was committed by studying the use of black servicemen. Marshall ordered an inquiry but allowed the 99th to continue to fight for the meantime. The inquiry eventually reported the 99th performance was comparable to other units, but any questions about the squadron fitness was answered in January 1944 when the pilot shot down 12 German planes in 2 days while protecting the Arizona beachhead. Colonel Davis and his 372nd Fighting Group arrived in Italy soon after that. The squadron group was called the Red Tails. Now, if y'all want to learn about the more Tuskegee Airmen, there's a movie came out 2012 named Red Tails. They will tell you the story about it, and also it's on the web too, and also found books about it. The Tuskegee Airmen, yeah, for the Red Tails for the extended markers of their plane were based on a Randella airfield and flew many missions deep in German territory. By summer of 1944, the group had transitioned to the P-47 Thunderbolts. In the summer of 1945, Davis took over all black 477th Bombardment Group, which was stationed at Goodman Field, Kentucky. During the war, the airmen commanded by Davis had compared an outstanding record combat against Luftwaffe. They flew over than 15,000 sorties, shot down 112 enemy planes, and destroyed or damaged 273 on the ground at a cost of 66 of their own planes, losing only 25 bombers. Davis himself led dozens of missions in P-47s, that's the planes, Thunderbolts, and P-51s Mustangs. He received a Silver Star for strafing runs in Austria and distinguishing flying cross for a bomber escort mission in Munich on June 9, 1944. In June 1948, President Harry S. Truman signed Executive Order 9981, Order to Racial Integration of the Armed Force. Colonel Davis helped the draft of the Air Force plan for implement this order. The Air Force was first of the service to integrate fully. Davis served at the Pentagon and overseas posted over the next 2 decades. He again saw combat. In 1953, he assured the command of the 51st Fighter Interceptor Wing, parentheses 51 FIW, and flew a F-86 Sabre in Korea. He served as a director of operations and training at the Far East Air Force Headquarters, Tokyo, from 1954 until 1955, which he assured the position of Vice Commander of the 13th Air Force, parentheses 13 AF, with additional duty as commander of Air Task Force Provisional Taipei, Taiwan during his time in Tokyo. He was temporarily promoted to the ranks of Brigadier General. In 1957, General Davis arrived at the Ramstein Air Base, Germany, as the Chief of Staff of the 12th Air Force, U.S. Air Force in Europe. With the 12th Air Force was transferred by James Colonel Air Force Base, Texas. In December 1957, he assumed new duties as the Deputy Chief of Staff Operator, Headquarters U.S. Air Force in Europe, Wiesbaden Air Base, Germany. While Germany was temporarily promoted to general in 1959, and his promotion to brigadier general was made permanent in 1960. In 1961, he returned the United States and headquarters Air Force, where he served as Director of Manpower and Organization Deputy Chief of Staff for his program and requirements, having his promotion in Major General made permanent in his early the next year. And in February 1965, he was assigned Assist Deputy Chief of Staff and Program Requirement. He remained in that position until his assignment as Chief of Staff for the United Nations Command and U.S. Force in Korea. In April 1965, which time he was promoted Lieutenant General. He assumed commander the 13th Air Force at Clark Air Base at the Republic of the Philippines, August 1967. Davis assigned as Deputy Commander-in-Chief, U.S. Strike Commander with headquarters at Midale Air Force Base, Florida in August 1968, with additional duty as Commander-in-Chief, Middle Southern Asia and Africa. He retired from active military service on February 1st, 1970, and on March 9th, 1998, Davis was promoted to General U.S. Air Force, retired, with President Clinton pinned his 4-star engineer. Now I'm going to do this and wrap it up in a few minutes. And I'm going to do the chat. At the time, Davis retired, held by ranks of Lieutenant General, but on December 9th, 1998, President awarded him as a 4-star, like I said before, raised him as a rank of full general. At the retirement, he had the Federal Sky Marshal Program, and in 1971, he was named Assistant Secretary of Transportation for Environment Safety and Consumers Affairs, overseeing the development of airport security and highway safety. Davis was one of the chief components of the 55 per mile speed limit. Okay. To save gasoline and lives. Let me read that again, family. Davis was one of the chief proponents of the 55 mile per hour speed limit to save gasoline and lives. Black man. He retired from the Department of Transportation in 1975, and in 1978 he served the American Battle Monumental Commission, which his father had served decades before. In 1991, he published his autobiography, Bisbal Davis, American Smithsonian Institute Press. He is a 1992 recipient of the Langley Gold Medal from the Smithsonian Institute. His military decorations include Air Force Distinguished Service Medal, Army Distinguished Service Medal, Silver Star, Legion of Merit, 2 Oak Leaf Clusters, Distinguished Flying Cross, Air Medals with 4 Leaf Clusters, Army Commendation Medal with 2 Oak Leaf Clusters, and the Philippine Legions of Honor. In the late 1980s, he began to work with our brother Bisbal Davis. In 2002, scholar Millie Kelly Asante listed Davis list on his list of 100 greatest African Americans. Bisbal Davis, Aerospace Technical High School in Detroit, Michigan. Bisbal Davis Junior Middle School in Compton, California, as well as former General Bisbal Davis Aviation High School in Cleveland, Ohio, all named in his honor. Bisbal Davis School in Aladdin Independent School District of Houston, Texas, opened in 2012. The Benjamin O. Davis Jr. Award was presented to senior members of the Civil Air Patrol, United Nations Air Force Auxiliary, successfully complete the second level of professional development, complete the technical training required for the leadership award, and attended squadron leadership designed to enhance senior members and performing squadron levels and to increase understanding of the basic function of a squadron and how to improve squadron operations. In 2015, West Point named a newly constructed barracks after him. He was an inductor of the International and Airspace Hall of Fame at San Diego Air and Space Museum. So, Bisbal Davis, just like his father, and we should put some respect on his father too, but he paid the way. Even women later on could join the service. Yeah. So a lot of these women be talking about this and that, and even like gay, lesbian, straight, all that. Benjamin Dank, his father, and then at the same time, his son Bisbal Davis Jr., they paved the way. A black man, 4-star general. Everywhere he go, he make a mark. Everywhere he go, he made a mark, family. Appreciate that. He made a mark. He was the first one that implemented 55 per hour, 55 per mile driving, save gasoline. First one, part of the Tuskegee Airmen. General, commander. And I'm gonna say a few things. I'm gonna put it down. I'm going to end this. But if you watch Red Tails family, they flew. It was a certain amount of time that you had to fly, and they would fly way over the certain way because it was a certain cutoff of certain times you go in the air. But the Tuskegee Airmen, they want to fight, they want to serve, and they was getting worked. Had not lost one enemy bomb. Had not. And then throughout the World War II, we only lost 66. See, this government was treating them so wrong. Even back in Harlem Hellraisers too. Well, we're gonna talk about the Tuskegee Airmen. Send them missions far away from combat. Tell a lie they ain't want to fight. Yeah, it was one guy, he wanted to fight and everything, but that was his loss. He took a loss and he died. But other than that, that's all he wanted to know and fight. And after all that was coming, they still didn't get the respect he do. Even Bisbal Davis, like all these years that he served, all the wars that he served, he was the top. But what he was doing, he was grooming our people. The ones who want to be in the service. He was grooming us. and even women too. So what we have to understand is that thanks to his father that laid the groundwork, Bisbal Davis Sr., his son, that was it. But each of them had to go their own path. And it was not easy for the father or the son. Look what happened. Bisbal Davis had to go through West Point, and he earned a respect. See, throughout the years, when I was looking at Tuskegee Airmen, they was getting more international acclaim than this USA. And it was other countries wondering on why they was not getting credit. Just as the Harlem Hellraisers. So just understand this was not too long ago. Bisbal Davis, the late great Mr. Bisbal Davis. Thanks for serving our country. Thanks for serving our people. Thanks for help grooming our brothers and sisters to respect the uniform and respect our community. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go on the chat. That's what I'm going to do. And after I do this, it's done. My brother, as always, Chief stay asleep. Congratulations, completed the 10 people of Black history, historical. Congratulations on that, my brother. Sheenan, always a blessing. Thanks for coming. The Truth Heard podcast. Thanks for coming back, brother. I very much appreciate it. But we can learn from that. We can learn from him. When you put your mind to do things that's positive, it could be reachable. It could be reachable. So, of that note, thanks again for participating with me. And subscribe and like to the chat. And I will talk to you very soon. I promise you that. And let's respect our heroes and our sheroes. And on that note, be safe, family. And I am Ghost.